On another exciting entry of the Animation Deliberation podcast, welcome to the trailer park. We've had some big conventions happen in Japan. We got lots of trailers to talk about. We got anime to talk about. And we're going to get right to that right after these ads we have no control over.
Sing along if you know the words. A 1, 2, 3, it's time for Animation Deliberation. A conversation and a celebration of our favorite action animated series. Yeah!
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Animation Deliberation, the podcast where we take action animation and cartoons seriously, but not too seriously. We are your hosts. I am Zuhair Ali.
I'm bursting at the seams like cheap denim, J. Scotty St. Clair.
And I am Andrew Rogers with no way to follow that one up.
If we ever go to a convention, like you've set yourself up, you have to be Beth Genus now.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
like, there's no working around it. It's set in stone. You've fixated yourself on this. All right, in case you guys couldn't tell, we are big fans of My Hero Academia. We have another episode this week to talk about, but we're going to break it off with some news because boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. And the first one that we're going to talk about is Ash Ketchum's story is finally coming to a close. I have been saying that I've wanted this to wrap up for years now, and now that it finally has, boy, did that little trailer hit me in the feels. We have 11 episodes left airing in Japan that's going to be wrapping up the story. He's going to be catching up with old friends, catching up with old Pokemon, and we have a new series that's going to be airing in the Paldean era, or region? Paldean region, which is what Violet and Scarlet are based off of. It's still going to be about kids, so is it going to be the same show with different characters? We don't know. It's one of those things where it's like the animation quality is insane, but Pokemon's kind of lacking on the storytelling part. So we'll find out on the other stuff for sure, but like, do you guys have any reaction on how you feel about Ash finally wrapping up?
I'm sad. There's no other words that I want to use other than just like, so many of us got to be 10 at the same time that Ash was 10. Like, so many of us, I can't say grew up with him because he never grew up, but it was just like, he was always this character that was around for so many of us. And then it's just the idea of a Pokemon show without a Pikachu is weird to me. Like, yeah, there's probably going to be other protagonist Pokemon, but like, Pikachu has been the mascot and will continue to be the mascot, but it's a weird changing of the guard that because this has been going on and he is one of the longest running anime characters, it's just crazy to me that it's finally going to be over. But yeah, I'm also not prepared for these last 11 episodes because they've already teased the Butterfree coming back from like the third episode of the anime. This past week, Ho-Oh re-showed up for the first time since the first episode. So they are bringing it full circle and just tacking on to the 2022 year of let's bring back everything we had as kids in nostalgia. So I'm happy to see where it goes, but I'm not ready for this change, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have any super strong attachment to Ash Ketchum. I would say the Pikachu aspect of it resonates with me a little bit more because I was 10 years old in the 4th grade when the Pokemon craze kind of like reached the heights, I think. And I haven't stayed with Pokemon all the way through, but I did see that first movie in theaters. So yeah, I'm surprised it's gone on this long. Maybe infusing some new blood might recalibrate my interest. But I know Pokemon's a huge franchise for a lot of people, and I have love for it. I don't actively dislike it. It's just not my cup of tea per se.
My Facebook status when I first saw this article was that it's crazy how I've grown up with Ash Ketchum, but I didn't age as well as he did. But yeah, show-wise, I think I fell off after 3rd gen. Game-wise, I fell off after 4th, and then every time there was a remake of those, I came back in, but Arceus was probably the first time in a while that I like hopped back into the level that I did. And of course, Pokemon Go being super exciting. So yeah, it's a change. We'll see what happens. Again, I feel like they have the potential of storytelling, and we'll see what happens from here on out. But more exciting news out in the Spider-Verse. How are you guys feeling about all that?
Yeah, for anyone that listened to last week's episode, the timing was kind of funny because we recorded earlier in the week, and normally I would edit the podcast right afterwards, but I didn't get the files till the next day, so this trailer dropped, so I had to like throw in a quick little reaction there, and I'm over the moon for it. It looks incredible. I wish I kind of had the time to like go through with a fine-tooth comb and like point out all the different Spider-Men and Spider-Women and Spider-Theys that I saw, but definitely a standout for me is the bombastic Bombastic Bagman. I'm known for my use of the adjective bombastic, so he's always and he's just running around in a Fantastic Four suit with a bag on his head. That's great. But there's so many, and I like the emotional through line with Miles and his mom. But I'm really curious because we had the news. I don't know if we discussed it on the show, but it's known that Jason Schwartzman is going to be voicing the villain, who is like a multiversal villain. But it really seems like Miles is going to be at odds, at least with Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, if not all the other Spider-Men and women. So really curious to see how this plot is going to unfold and what we'll learn about this movie in the coming months. But I'm excited.
It definitely looks like absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they introduced us to the idea of like, oh, there's a Spider-Verse in the first movie, but it was still like so housed on like an Earth that we knew and could like understand. It feels like this is just gonna blow the understanding of things out of the water, and like you said, it's gonna be chaos, and I just can't wait because it's gonna be that fun and jovial jaunt like we got in that first movie. Because yeah, we have Bombastic Bagman, we have Silk in the background, we have Spider Cop like directing traffic. There's just so many things in this one trailer alone that I agree. I wish I could break it down, but I don't have the patience to break this down. So just this movie cannot come soon enough. Like June, can we just pull that up a little bit in 2023? Like just give it a little sooner, Sony. You're not doing anything else. None of the other movies are good.
Yeah, just cancel all of the other Spider-Man spin-off projects you want to do. Focus on this and focus on the Spider-Man video games for PlayStation. That's all we need in life. But even though Andrew wants it in June, it is slated for July 2023. We do not have an actual day for that yet, but at least we know that we have a summer flick to look forward to.
You're looking at our next piece of news. It's June 2nd, 2023. We do have 4 Spider-Verse.
I'm dumb.
You're on the money. We just have so many things coming out because July 2023 is JJK Season 2. For those of you who have been keeping up, Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the great new-gen animes without a doubt. And we got the Season 2 trailer that just looks like it's going to be crazier and over the top. From all of the manga readers I've heard, it's probably going to be better than the first season. So it's just more to be excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the movie. Love the season. So glad you talked me into watching that. And yeah, I'm ready for the craziness that Mappa has to offer with such an exciting show.
Yeah, how could we not mention it's Mappa? They're just going to be super busy next year with all of the things they have going on.
I have follow-ups for all my trip-ups.
I need to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I've heard great things from the two of you, including the movie. Other people in my life have recommended it. So it's on my radar. It's on the docket. I will make time for it, especially with season 2 just around the corner.
You've got 7 months. Not like you got anything better to do.
Yeah. I'll squeeze it in for sure.
All right, so a couple other announcements. We have Rurouni Kenshin. They dropped kind of more like a character trailer, but it was more on the Japanese stuff that did not have subtitles, so I cannot provide any further information to you for that. It does look like they are just rebooting the original show, which was a fantastic show, so as long as it has better animation and better dubbed dialogue, I am 100% down for it. I don't know if anybody's ever followed with Blue Exorcist, but I know that's one that I've been hearing about for a few years now, so that is an anime that has been concerned. Any thoughts that you guys have on either of those?
I can't speak to either of them too much. I will just kind of reiterate what I said about Rurouni Kenshin in the past. I know it's a very celebrated anime, so kind of like what I said with Pokemon, if it's an opportunity to bring a new crowd and inject the series with some fresh blood, I'm all for it. Blue Exorcist.
Blood, all right.
Yeah. I know a little bit about it, but Blue Exorcist I don't know a thing about, so I'll have to check that one out and follow up at a later time.
So listeners, if that's one that you guys are excited for, let us know if it's something we need to add to our docket, because apparently we have nothing better to do. I
No,
have not
no new
watched.
shows.
Wait, there is no trailer for. No, I have not watched the trailer for Vox Machina 2 Season 2 because I've been slacking and haven't finished the last bit of 1 yet. But we have a premiere date of January 20th, 2023. I got some catching up to do. How excited are you guys for that show?
I did watch the trailer, and holy crap, am I excited!
Nice.
Like, not even spoiling anything, they took everything that was over the top about the first season and said, "Let's crank that up to 11." Like, it's just, it seems like it's going to be more of the same bizarre, crazy everything, as well as that D&D flair that you can tell these are storytellers behind the scenes. So yeah, I'm super excited for everything that has to come out of this. So let's get, just add this to our docket, add the first season to our docket, because again, we have nothing else to do before January, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I got my short soldier surgery, so I just got nothing but time to watch stuff.
Yeah. Apologies to Jujutsu Kaisen, but that just moved down a spot on my priority list because much like
January and July, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I've only heard the best things about Vox Machina. I've liked what I've seen so far, so definitely going to prioritize that one in time for season 2.
January 20, 2023, only on Amazon Prime. Last bit of news that we have in the anime world is Spy Family is not only getting a season 2, but it is getting a movie.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. Did either of you know this was happening or think this was going to happen?
I didn't expect it to happen. I didn't see it coming, but with the trend we've seen lately, especially with like the success of Demon Slayer in theaters, I know the One Piece film that just came out a few weeks ago. We haven't really talked about it on here, but I know it had a great opening weekend. The Dragon Ball Super movie that came out. It's this trend of anime movies doing very well in theaters is a good trend. So I'm not floored by this news, but I am incredibly excited. I love this show so much for it to get the treatment on the big screen and get that budget behind it. It's already an amazingly entertaining and beautiful show. I think it speaks to the popularity of the anime, and that bodes well for me.
Yeah, I hope that it is a canon story that does tie in with the story that we have right now. I'm honestly hoping that it's a deep dive into the origin of the three of them, finding out more about Yor and more of the assassin stuff. Like, we love the comedy of the show, but this is a perfect opportunity to kind of like step it up in the seriousness of like, why is a confrontation between the East and the West such a big deal, and why are Yor hitting the targets that she does, and it'd be cool, like with Jujutsu Kaisen, just kind of get this history lesson and then dive back into it in season 2.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about mysteries. I feel like Anya is just the biggest mystery. We don't know why she has her powers or where she came from. So there's definitely so much that you could flesh out in the backstory, but also just going forward. They're a family, just like a movie about a happy family. The poster has a plane. I don't know if that means they're going on like a trip, maybe, or if that just has nothing to do with what's happening. But yeah, no, that and another season all coming so close on the heels of a successful first season just screams to me that this is doing better than we could imagine.
Borf.
Yeah. And excuse me. So I know you said that was the last piece of news, but I don't know if these got lost in the shuffle there. But when Andrew abbreviated Jujutsu Kaisen 0 as JJK, immediately I was like, "What? J.K. Simmons? What does he have going on?" But we do have
animated content about him being himself.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we do have the confirmation. I think this was a given. We kind of knew this was happening, but Invincible season 2 has been confirmed for 2023. No specific date there. Yes. But that was actually, outside of Young Justice, that was one of the first like really big shows we covered on this show. And I loved the audience participation we got with that one. And that was just an incredible season of animation, and really struck a chord with me emotionally, and was not afraid to go places in terms of violence. And I'm incredibly excited to continue Invincible's journey there.
Yeah, big thanks to you for that one, because that was one where I wasn't too interested, but because of the cast and your excitement for it, I was like, yeah, sure, I guess we can watch and cover that one. And I was like, oh my god, what did I just watch? So yeah, definitely excited to ride those vibes into next year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of next year, we're going to be doing our Animation Deliberation New Year's special episode. Last year was the most that we had ever heard from you all, and we are excited to do that again. So we definitely want to hear a list of animated content that you were super happy with this year and the stuff that you're really looking forward to next year. We had a great time talking about that. We learned about a lot of shows and movies that we had missed. So please write in, whether it's our Instagram, whether it's our Twitter, Facebook, email, hit us up on all of them. Tell your friends just to, if there's anything they're excited about, just to write in so we have stuff to look forward to along with you guys.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun last year, and I honestly can't wait to see what you all have to bring to the table. So feel free, send that all in as much as possible. I'll be putting feelers out on social media, so you can always share those posts to, your friends and ask, hey, what are you excited for next year? And yeah, it's just going to be a fun time as we ring in the new year. I can't believe it's December already, considering I feel like we were just talking about all of the anime coming out in October. So it's a lot, and I'm curious to know what everyone's favorite thing is from this year, because I feel like there's a lot of good answers this year.
Mm-hmm.
Mine might be repeated into next year.
Interesting.
Do you get where I'm going with that?
I don't.
No, I have nothing.
One of the coolest things I saw this year was that Uzui and Gyutaro fight, and I'm going to be able to see it in theaters next year, so
yes.
it might just double up.
Nice.
All right, so that's it for the trailer park of news that we had today. We're going to go into our animated segment. Obviously, there's a lot of content. We do not have the time to talk about all of it, so we are each going to get 1 minute to talk about the ones that interested us this week. If you guys feel like there's one that we need to talk about more at the end of a season, or there's another show that we need to check out, please write in. Obviously, if you guys have your little write-ups, or if you want to send a voice memo and try to keep it under a minute, we will happily play it so that you can join along with us. But who wants to kick it off with Spy Family, episode 24?
I'll jump in because you said your, and I was just like, okay, yeah, we're going to talk about your.
I was on the same page as you. I was like, your little write-up about your what now? What's going on?
What are we writing about your? Wow, I'm glad we're all in that group thing here. That's just...
I wasn't. I mean, yeah, I totally meant that. Just wanted to set it up.
Borf. Okay. This episode was so cute and so fun, and keep this family together at all costs. You're just giving us all of this actual emotion, but not knowing how to process it was just so bizarre and over the top, and yet again had me actually laughing out loud. I can't stress enough how funny this show is for the weirdest reasons sometimes. And then the back half of this episode was just cute and fun. Getting to see Anya make more friends is always going to be a literal gift, just like a keychain. And, I can't wait for those keychains to start hitting the shelves so that I can get one for my friends and be like, hey, we have little sheep now. But yeah, the episode is just so wholesome and fun. And it moved the story along just enough that I'm happy without doing anything over the top. So yeah, just keep coming into this next season, and I'll cede the rest of my time as to not go too in depth on you two.
Yay.
Zuhair, I defer to you if you'd like to go next.
Sure, I'll knock it out. Yeah, that opening scene was an absolute delight. We talk about how much we just love the opportunity to have really good dialogue over action within these things. And I really thought they were building it up to really heartfelt conversation. But the fact that she just uppercut kicked his chin and grew him a new head was hilarious. You see the chemistry starting to develop between them. But of course, they find any opportunity to just make me laugh my ass off. Everything about the show was always such a delight. I did not expect to learn so much about Becky that we did this episode. Everything about that shopping spree and how much, their version of Alfred meant to her. And just the dynamic of like what she does to just kind of like be her own person and just be loved in her own ways was just super beautiful. So they do have the deep, emotional resonance within these people, and it's just in the most unique, magical way.
All right. Excuse me. Maybe start my timer after that. Yeah, piggybacking off of that, I think about last week and how hilarious that tennis match was, but we didn't really pick up on or highlight the fact that the episode ended with this moment of melancholy with Yor sitting on the couch or the chair there. So to pick up right from there and see that she's got these doubts, she realizes that, or she thinks that the outcome of the tennis match really didn't matter. Just led to hilarity ensuing. I agree completely. Her downing the beverages at the bar and just immediately getting drunk, calling him Woid. Who I thought you was in a relationship, Woid. Twilight is normally so unflappable, so to see him like thrown off like so many times, and you talk about learning a little bit about Becky, but we also learned a little bit about Lloyd. We had that flashback with his mom and learned a little bit about his upbringing, and then even Damien there at the end actually showing that he might have some affection for Anya. I just thought it was a delightful episode, even if not super serious.
Watching Yor just walk into that freaking light pole was hilarious. Oh boy. I'm going to skip on Bleach 1000-Year War this year because it's just on this little interim moment right now, and I may have been kind of brain dead while I was watching it, so I don't really have too much to say on that. But anybody want to kick it off for Chainsaw Man?
We can kind of reverse order here if we want. I'll go first on Chainsaw Man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, the big standout for me was the future devil. Ever since we started watching this show and had the opening, I saw this like otherworldly being just doing this dance with like psychedelic lighting, and I'm like, what is going on there? And I immediately fell in love with this character, and I'm so glad that he's attached to Aki, because Aki is one of my favorites. The last episode ended on such an ominous note. Like, one person had to give up their sense of sight and smell just to have a contract with this guy, and the other person had to give up half their lifespan. And he just immediately, like, he tells Aki that he has a bad attitude, but he seems like taken with him anyway. And I mean, beyond that, we got introduced to a cavalcade of new fiends, new devils, seeing the ghost devil in that antagonist power. Like, I didn't realize how scary the ghost devil was until she was coming at Aki. So I'm kind of all over the place, but that's my time. I leave plenty of you to discuss. Plenty for you to discuss.
Yor?
Yeah, it was... For all the people who were like, oh, hey, Makami's dead, like you can see in the opener that she has like angel wings now. Screw you. I told you it was another person. We got confirmation on that. Another thing from the opener that I've been curious about. And like you said, with the future devil doing his little dance, I wasn't expecting his voice to be like as high pitched and goofy as it was, but I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super fascinating how he was just kind of like, you're going to have a magnificent death, and I just want to be there for it. A lot of solid action for this, and like I've said for the last couple of weeks, I like that there's actually something that we're building towards now, and there's like a continuing story. It was fun to see how Deki and Power were going through their training and just getting slaughtered every single day. And we're going to see the fruits of that soon. Like, it's going to be time for them to really step up, and their actions really going to pick up.
All right. This was just craziness. We talk about the opening, and the more that I've been able to watch it, the more that I've seen, they just told us that whole story out the gate. And it's just amazing how they're doing this storytelling. You've talked enough about the future devil. His lines were so funny at the fact that it's just like, your death is going to be sick, man. Let's go. Like, I'm so curious to see if we get that death like anytime soon. I don't want it, but I'm so intrigued by everything that's going to happen. And I've been waiting for this shark devil. He's been in the background of the opening, and I am not disappointed at what we've got. So yeah, this cast of characters has only grown despite the sad shrinking that we got a few episodes ago. And I can't believe that it's almost over, and it feels like we're ramping up, but I don't know to what. And yeah, it's so much fun.
Such a good opener.
The left, the right, I'm never gonna stop. The left, the right, I'm never gonna stop. I don't know.
I think the lyrics are a beautiful star.
Oh, okay. It sounds like I was just singing what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, I did for the longest time too, and I think I had like it was either the subs were on or I looked up
Okay.
something for whatever reason, and it's like a beautiful star, and I was like, I like what I thought it was more.
Yeah. It's so funny. Every time I hear that, or even occasionally I'll just look at Monaco and start singing those words, and I'll do the feet kicking like I'm Power and Denji, just like
Nice.
every time. It's so catchy, and one of the few that we don't skip consistently. Like, it is always continuing every single time.
One of my favorite cosplayers that I follow on Instagram, Lohi Lohi, did a Power cosplay for one of the conventions she was at, and she was doing the dance, and I was like, this is incredible.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a lot of feedback to talk about, a lot of the show to talk about, so that's it for our Animinute.
Oh.
Remember that, well.
I was going to do one more Animinute. I threw it in there. You must not have seen.
It's little.
It's little. I used the wrong font size. I'm sorry. I finally finished Black Clover after after months and months, and I'm not going to be able to talk about this during our 2022 wrap up because it's not new anymore. But I feel like I need to try and compress 160 episodes of feeling into 1 minute and see what happens. So, all right, Black Clover may be a top 5, at the very least as a top 10 anime. I have nothing but praise for this show. I feel like a ton of people are sleeping on it. It is just one of the best character and world building ones out there. It has, no joke, my favorite anime team of any anime that I've seen. Like, it takes Class 1A, it takes all of the Demon Slayer. Like, these guys are just so much fun. I care about every single one of them. So if you want to talk about loving side characters, Black Clover is 100% the show for you. And then just the action, they do clever and weird animation things throughout to kind of stretch their budget and save it, but the powers are fun, the characters are over the top, and I had never heard much about it until our friend BVK said something, and now I can't believe more people aren't talking about this. It's so crazy and over the top, and yeah, that's my minute. But I felt like I had to do something to send off this show, because maybe I think we're getting a movie next year, but I don't know how canon it's going to be, so maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is Black Clover for me is going to be like what I did for Demon Slayer, where I needed the pressure of the movie coming out to be like, you have until this to finish binging. So that is definitely on my list, and that glowing review definitely speeds up the process a little bit for me. Because again, I'm going to have nothing to do for about a month and a half, minimum.
All right, well, I took enough of our time.
You can give the animated spiel now.
You mean the feedback spiel?
No, the animated spiel, because I do it before and after.
Oh, that was our segment where we have 1 minute to talk about all of the lovely anime we are watching outside of this podcast that we just can't talk enough about. If there are shows that, if there are shows that we are missing that you want to hear, just let us know in all of your feedback. How did I do? That was very off the cuff.
Not bad for putting you on the spot.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Any reason to talk to you guys is a delight. And speaking of, we got 2 very excited emails regarding Season 6, Episode 12 of My Hero Academia, The Threads of Hope. Do we want to hit the feedback first or hit the synopsis first?
Oh, yeah, I'll knock out the synopsis real quick, and then we can tackle this feedback.
Let's do it.
All right. My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 12, titled Threads of Hope. Best Jeanist uses his metal fibers to restrain Gigantomachia and the League, with Dabi surprised that he is alive. Spinner attempts to wake Shigaraki to give Gigantomachia an order, and before Nejire can blast them, Dabi burns her, escaping from his restraints by covering his whole body in flames. Thinking about his past, Shigaraki manages to barely let out a destroy, reinciting Machia and forcing Jeanist to keep his hold on the giant. At this moment, several of the near high-ends the heroes have been fighting break off from the group to attack Jeanist. Deku laments being unable to do anything due to his broken body, when suddenly Mirio returns, saving Jeanist by punching the Nomu away. The previous day, he had asked Eri to use her rewind quirk on him so that he could get his quirk back and rejoin the battle, which she happily agreed to. He receives assistance from Ida, Nejire, and Bakugo, with the latter revealing to his old mentor his hero name, Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. The name is met with disdain from everyone other than Mirio. It's lame. So lame. Anyway, meanwhile, Shoto attempts to fight his brother but finds himself overwhelmed by his fire and his insanity. All the while, their father stands motionless on the ground. Deku intervenes in their fight using Black Whip from his mouth, telling Dabi that he is not Endeavor. After a sudden ping in his head, Gigantomachia breaks free from the fibers, but spurred on by Deku's words, Endeavor uses his last remaining strength to knock into Machia, who suddenly falls unconscious due to the anesthetic the UA students inserted into him, finally taking into effect. As the war reaches its climax, Mr. Compress declares that he and his teammates haven't accomplished their goals and aren't done yet.
So much to say. But first, we're going to hear from Chrissy. Duh.
What all of you couldn't see was me slowly pointing at myself. Like, is this supposed to be me? We didn't talk about this one. All right, email from Chrissy.
You are not a creature of habit, are you?
I never want to make assumptions. I'm just trying to be nice here. All right, email from Chrissy. Okay. So much to unpack here, so I'll start off with Dragon Age. Here it goes. So I've never played the Dragon Age video game, so I understand the accessibility issue when it comes to series such as this and Arcane. But I feel so comfortable with this show as I play D&D, everything was very familiar, and it was just as funny and action-packed, so I can't wait to see more. Now for my hero. Dabi's backstory is revealed. I'm so happy I don't have to hold my tongue anymore. I wasn't expecting them to reveal it the way they did, but the whole thing gave me full-body chills. I seriously cannot wait for you guys to get more info and go deeper into it and find out more. I can't wait to see how everyone deals with the aftermath and the info that they just had. All I want is Dabi and Shoto to have a heart-to-heart and Shoto assure Dabi that he wasn't alone and to have them bond in a way over the experiences of growing up as Endeavor's star child. And also for Natsu and Dabi to reconnect in some way as they were close when they were younger. Well, I think that's it for now. Oh, but one more thing, the Season 2 trailer for Vox dropped this week. It looks like it's going to be an epic season and as funny as ever. Grog gets his beard. If you've ever seen Critical Role Campaign, one thing you'll understand is some excitement there. But that's officially it. Stay well, my dudes, and go plus ultra.
That's awesome. So much excitement for so much content. We got one more from Jonathan Kim, which I will take because I'm such a jerk to you. Spoiler alert for Season 6, Episode 12. Lemillion is back! I screamed out in joy when I saw him. Can't remember who, but one of you guys called it. Thank you. That Ariel rewind and give his powers back. I guess Aizawa's leg will be back on his 2 feet after all this is over. I wonder if he knew that, and that is why he cut it off so quickly. What another intense episode, and love that they keep looping things back together, such as the students' effort was not all for nothing, and it did help Gigantomachia go down. They keep topping themselves episode after episode. Also, another guess is correct in revealing Bakugo's hero's name. You guys are good, thank you. All the reaction to Daibaku Kishin Dynamito, aka Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite, was hilarious. Even the villains were shocked. Love that the best genius, his mentor, was all for it, though, and called him out with his full title, too. Now to see what to expect on the next episode. Seems like there is no break, and they will keep giving us all of Season 6 until the episode's on Episode 25. Only halfway, and excited to see what the rest of the season will bring. Thanks, Jonathan. I love that Ida was calling him by his name, even though he hated it so much.
I thought Ida was the one that said it was catchy.
I think he said it's so long, and then someone, Nejire, was like, it's so violent.
I love Nejire so much. I was so scared for her when she got hit, but it's like, she's such a doll. Like, even when she's so beat up, she just brings so much life into these scenarios. But, as mentioned, each of these episodes has one comedy moment. We have our laugh about it, and then we go back into the oh shoot moments. Oh my god, Lemillion coming back was so exciting. Like, we were so excited about Best Genius being alive and coming back that, I mean, I didn't even fathom the fact that he would come back this quickly. How did you guys feel about that?
Yeah, Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just going to say, this makes up for our gripe last week of like, they spoiled that Genist was alive, because the moment that those colors flashed across the screen and I saw the cape behind, I was like, oh oh my god. And then you finally got that reveal of him popping out of the ground, but it was just he was probably the last person I think I thought was going to come back, because we saw Aerie earlier in the season, and for some reason none of the pieces clicked together that, oh, maybe she's mastered her powers by now.
Yeah, I didn't see this one coming. Like Jonathan, I immediately thought, oh, this means that Aizawa is going to get his leg back as well.
Yeah.
But Mirio Lemillion is one of my favorite characters. I just love the positivity he exudes, and the way they draw his face, it's very simplistic, and he has this like happy kind of innocent look to him, but his perk permeation like can do so much damage. It's awesome to see him moving so fast and furiously. That's not a reference there, that just happened. And seeing this like just like innocent smiling face kind of like emerging out of the ground, and I was just as pumped as like the rest of the characters were. Like Best Genius, is being surrounded. Who's going to step up? Izuku wishes it could be him, but he just doesn't have the strength. And bam, we've got Lemillion back, and we've got Aerie finally able to repay, not that she's in debt, but to do what she's wanted to do so long. And it was just a very heartwarming and empowering moment.
Her little
Look
sweater
how
was
long
so
it took
cute.
to draw his face.
2 dots and a curved line. Now that's a struggle to draw right there.
It was amazing how he had his entrance and he was just kicking all the ass, and we were so happy to see him. And then he was like, "I'm still not at 100%. Help!"
That was great. That was great.
Very frank, very ready to ask for it. But we talk about him phasing through things. They upped his animation so much for this appearance. Like, he looks a world better than he did. Not that he looked bad before, but it is like nearly flawless phasing now.
Yeah, I know rewatching is beneath you, but during the Aerie rescue arc, when I was watching that part again and he was just going toe to toe with Overhaul, I was like, man, this looks incredible.
I have to kind of like pivot a little bit, but one thing that came up for me while I was reading the synopsis, and then with Chrissy's email, she said something about not having to hold her tongue anymore. But I thought about when Deku used Black Whip and he used it Froppy style.
Froppy style.
I just love that. I love that so much.
I just want to know if it was like an accident the first time, or if it was like, maybe I can do it like you. Because she had to show him, but how did they get there?
They had the flashback training arc with the tape guy Froppy and Uraraka.
It's just so bizarre to think that.
Oh yeah, definitely bizarre,
upon
but desperate times.
Yeah,
dude, his arms are so beat up. I'm genuinely worried about the repercussions of that. Like, to what extent is he going to be able to use his arms at all when all this is said and done?
Oh yeah, they're all just gonna be worse for wear. I don't know how any of them. I mean, if it wasn't an anime, they're not bouncing back. But even still, I don't know how they're actually gonna be okay.
Yeah, I was so happy and so impressed with Endeavor's punch, but I was like, that actually did it? And yeah, it was super satisfying that the one, what was the word?
Anesthetic?
Anesthetic, yeah.
Okay.
Was able to knock him out. It was sad it took so long, but again, better late than never. Help Best Genius do his thing. Shigaraki is just so knocked out right now. It's kind of satisfying that he just can't wake up under any circumstances.
Yeah. I loved Best Genius like analysis of everything that was happening, because his power is fibers and threads, and he's like, these are all the threads. These are the threads of hope coming together. The UA students, they planted this anesthetic, but it's just now kicking in just the right time. And Deku I love the kind of repetition there. He told Todoroki initially, it's your quirk. It's not your father's quirk. And now he's saying the same thing to Dabi and to Endeavor. So, and then of course Dabi's like, hey, this is family stuff. Stay out of it. And he's like, no, Todoroki's a good friend.
Yeah.
And Endeavor made me stronger. I'm a part of this. So I'm still a little fearful for Endeavor, because it looks like he really went all out, but for good cause. And after seeing him frozen in fears for so long, and Dabi being kind of gleeful, like, what will Dad's face look like if I burn you, Shoto? Like, to get him to shut up a little bit was pretty satisfying.
the dialogue, especially the Deku dialogue, like it's
Yeah.
just all so good. There was somewhere I was gonna go with that, and then I totally forgot.
Well, I'll circle back. You talk about how great Best Jeanist was with his analysis of the situation. As much as we got the Lemillion, he had the great reveal. Best Jeanist entrance was still amazing. The fact that he did the Captain America no parachute out of the plane, like, let's go, just dropping these giant bales of wire. Like, it was such an epic entrance for, again, a character that I wasn't, like, over the moon about before. He is now in that
He was
top
number
tier.
4 for a reason.
Yeah, we're finally finding all of that out. So yeah, getting to see the no care or not caring about anything entrance was amazing. But yeah, I'm glad that the students are all there to defend him, because he is also on the list of characters that I'm a little frightened for.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of emphasis on the fact that it's like he's the number one hero. Like, we can't have another one go down like this. So I'm glad that, he's finally fighting for himself. We see that even though Bakugo took some vital hits, like, he's got like this beautiful like glitter coming out of his explosures now too. Like, he just went up another level. So there's one. That's another thing that Endeavor's got to look at and be like, this guy got stabbed the same way I did, and he's still making such a difference. Like, you got to get up and move. And they're absolutely running on fumes. No pun intended. Like, they have to be just dying of exhaustion right now. I feel like this could be wrapping up next episode.
Oh yeah,
it could be, but I'm really curious about what Compress has under his sleeve, because he doesn't seem like.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it seemed like the episode ended right as he was, had a final card to play. So
it's interesting how this team operates when they don't have their teleport friend getting them out of there when they need to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
indeed.
It's true, because it seems like really Compress is the only one that's any hope of escape or kind of continuing this fight now that Makia is out of the picture as well. Because I kind of thought Makia was going to be the way that they vacated out of there.
Yeah. Huh.
Well,
maybe he does have the teleport dude just sitting in a bubble right now.
Well, no, because we know Kurogiri is in prison.
Yeah, he's in custody. Yeah.
Because there's the whole Present Mike. Also, we got to see Present Mike like running back toward the battle, so I hope he's incoming to help out too.
Yeah,
seeing that little like they had the little montage of everybody just like beat up and practically on their deathbeds. I was like, I don't want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you talk about Present Mike running back to the battle, but I think about on the other side of things, Toga is on her way back too. So I wonder what she could have, what she could contribute. Because
what if she has a? Oh, no, I was going to say, what if she has a vial of Kurogiri's blood?
Ooh.
Because we have that whole she can take quirks thing. She can get them out of there.
All right.
Sorry, the wheels turned faster than I knew what to do with in that moment.
This time next week, Jonathan will be telling us that you called it.
Let's go.
It'd be fun if she turns back into Uraraka though and just tricks everyone into thinking that she's there to help out, and then just does the anti-gravity. It's like, all right, we're all floating away now.
Goodbye.
Chitty chitty bang
following
bang.
Him with this. Deku's just following them with his black whip tongue. Just get back here.
She'd like that too much.
Heyo.
Yeah, this is going to be a little off topic. I didn't notice you talked about montage, and this reminded me of this. The montage last episode, as we were talking about the effect that it had on like all of the civilians and everyone seeing the reveal of who Dabi was. Did either of you notice that the kid watching the computer was also the kid that was shouting at Endeavor, like, you have to be the number one hero, back like 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
I did not catch that at all.
Oh.
I didn't have it confirmed. I didn't know it for a fact, but I suspected that was the most likely candidate. I was like, why would they be showing this character otherwise?
Oh, I thought they mentioned it at some point too.
Maybe it could have been. It was just one of those. I was like, I feel like I need to bring this up just in case there were other people like me that were dumbfounded. Like, oh, this is just like some kid watching the computer with his whale friend, and then you look back and it's like, oh, that's the okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I had mentioned that too because that was the most resonating part for me when I first saw that was that like there was this guy that when the rest of the world didn't have hope, he did. He sparked it into everybody else, and now he's questioning like if he should have been rooting for him in the first place. Like that was deep and tough to watch. It's so emotionally traumatizing.
Yeah. Fun fact: his whale friend is actually his brother, and his name is Payakan. If you know, you know. Okay, it was an Avatar reference, but it clearly didn't land for either of you, so never mind. Whale brother, Payakan. You guys have seen
like
Way of Water, right?
The new Avatar?
Yeah. Okay.
Why is the word Payakan not clicking anything?
That was the Tolkien that we don't want to spoil the movie here, but
okay.
That was the yeah. Anyway. I thought that was
a good one,
better. Okay.
Whale noises.
I don't know if I have anything else to say about this one.
I have much more to say. It was just like, oh my freaking god, reactions.
Yeah, do you think Bakugo is going to keep that long-winded name, or are we going to get a truncated version of it?
Maybe his name will just be Dynamite.
I think Dynamite is the most likely answer, unless he goes by like GEMGD or something like that. Like just takes the... But maybe there's some abbreviation with Japanese that would work. I don't know. Because there's always a possibility of something like that. But if I had to make bets, he wants the full name. Give him the full name.
All right. Yeah.
God, Dynamite. I just realized it was spelled Dynamite. Like All Might.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably
that
a tribute.
Makes me want that more. Yeah.
Just sparkly dynamite flying through the air here. It's the most anti-Bakugo thing. It honors his
favorite hero, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite.
Dynamite! Anyway.
I haven't fully got my voice back yet to try to replicate that.
I'm glad that reference landed.
We got that one. We've got you covered, Scoots.
All right.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's it for me. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what was his name in Japanese again?
Daibaku Kishin Dynamito.
So that directly translates like Maito is might in Japanese. So it is literally, it wasn't just for an English translation, because I was curious if they changed it. It is almost 100% at that point an All Might reference if they are also using Maito.
But they also just say All Might in the Japanese version too, so...
Oh. Yeah.
All for one. All for one.
Awful one. Just skip the last like couple of letters in every word.
Yeah.
Awful one. All Might.
Yeah. All right.
Being offensive.
Well, hopefully
not.
Yeah,
I think Dynamite would be a sick name. I mean, even like Uravity, like that's an English word, and Ingenium, engine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite would be sick. I hope somebody brings that up and that ends up being it.
I can get down with that.
Speaking of things being it.
Well played. Well played. Yeah. I will just go first as we close out here, reminding everyone about the New Year's special episode we spoke about at the beginning. Let us know about your favorite moments of 2022, your most anticipated animated entries for 2023. And if you love what we're doing here, let your friends know about it. Share the show. Give us a rating and review. We definitely appreciate it. And hit us up on all the social medias. You want to get specific about that, Andrew?
Yeah, so you can follow us on all of our social media platforms to give us reviews or share with your friends. You could follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Animation Deliberation Podcast on both of those, and on Twitter at Animation Delib1. That also has all of our links if you were looking to share that with our friends. And, if they are curious, give them the, last year's 2022 episode, and then just let that bridge into how we do the feedback for 2022, 2023. But yeah, there was so many of you last year. We would love to hear from so many of you again. Whether it's your first time writing in or not, by all means, put it out there. You don't have to use a real name either, because I did have someone that actually mentioned something like that. If you want to do it on an Instagram or whatever and just be like...
Ultimate name.
Yeah, Allmight223. We will read Allmight223's feedback or what their favorite things about the year were. So if you have any thoughts on that, like we've said, send them in for all of us. As for what else we have going on outside this show, Zuhair, what else are you doing?
The usual 323 with Reed Murphy. While whether you're into sports or want to find out why I lost my voice this week, go check them out. Also, we wrapped up the Fantasy Heroes, which is a game that I did with Sarah Day McDougal. Registration is officially closed, but if you guys want to find out the final points, keep an eye on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Also, if you want to support us, check out patreon.com/Patreon Fantasy Heroes, And yeah, that's it for me. Everybody have a safe and happy holidays.
Oh yeah, this will be the last one before the holidays. Oh my gosh.
Omitting New Year's.
Omitting New Year's, because
also my holidays were a few weeks ago, so I'm done.
This year, give the gift of animation.
Enjoy the time off then, bud.
I don't know if you heard me, but I said this year, give the gift of animation deliberation. Share us with your friends.
Oh, now I did.
And give us the gift of a 5-star rating and review.
Yes. All right. All right. Before this delay gets any worse, thanks everybody for listening and for tuning in. That's TOONIN.
B plus Ultra, and as always, stay whelmed.
And have that happiest of holidays. Until next time, muscle.
Thank you for listening to the Animation Deliberation Podcast, a proud member of the Stranded Panda Network. If you would like to contact us, you can email animationdeliberationpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter @animationdelib1. For this and other great shows, you can visit strandedpanda.com or join the great community that is the Stranded Panda Chat Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/svchat. Tune in next time, and remember, stay whelmed.